Ronan, when did you find out you were going to get the start?
Kind of a couple weeks ago. We were kind of just, going through fall camp, and, you're in the heat of it, so you don't really think about it that much. And, just, trying to work for it, and I feel like I've worked for it for a while and whatever else, but at the end of the day, I'm just trying to, just play the best I can and, control the controllables, so.
How would you grade your performance?
I'm always like a harsh grader to myself. The missed tackle I had, kept me awake at night. But, I think I had a decent game. Always room to improve and stuff. But for my first showing, I don't think it was that bad.
What was the tackle again that you missed?
It was an open field tackle. I think it was the second quarter, I believe it was. Coming down, and he just made a little move to me, close off my hips, and couldn't really change direction that well. So,
just going back, I forget if you told us about this, but why did you want to play receiver when you first got here? Why was that the position?
I don't know. I always kind of liked it. My older brother's a quarterback. He's at BC right now, and I kind of just always liked catching the ball, and he threw it to me. We had great chemistry, and I was just kind of my dad raised us. He was a quarterback at BU, and he kind of just all taught us quarterback, and I didn't really want to, learn that. So I just like catching it, and my brother threw it to me. So I like doing that stuff, and obviously I always like hitting people. So I like safety comes natural, I guess.
How quickly did you feel like when you switched back to safety last year that you were natural at it, that like this was the position for you?
In high school I always kind of just found the ball, and that's how I try to play today. Obviously working on the technique and all that stuff right now, and the knowledge of the game from a defensive perspective, but at the end of the day you just got to find the ball. So.
Yesterday, Coach Swinney said you were the bright spot of the game. What does it mean to you to have your coach say something like that?
It means a lot. Obviously, Coach Swinney, he's not blowing smoke. If he says something, you gotta listen to it. So it's good to hear that, honestly. But you just gotta. It's a new week now, and I gotta prove myself again this week.
I think you said post game that the defense goes to have three takeaways again. That's like how does Tom Allen kind of emphasize that to you guys to have a goal for each?
Yeah. So fall camp we did this thing called the takeaway kings and stuff, and the spring ball, and basically every practice our goal is to have 3 turnovers that practice when we're doing team periods and stuff. So during the spring I think KB got it, and I made it part of my goal during fall camp to get a takeaway king, and I had the most interceptions during fall camp, so I got that too. And so that was kind of like one of the big things is he really emphasizes that is if we turn the ball over more than we turn the ball over, if we can get turnovers and takeaways, then that's going to be a huge key to winning the game.
You said Khalil Barnes won it in the spring. Yeah. Who won it in the fall?
I did.
You did, okay.
Fall camp.
Is there any prize for getting the king?
Yeah, I forget what he said exactly, but I think some sort of Nike. I forget what he said, but I'll have to talk to Nick about it, our equipment manager, and see what I can get.
Any other questions for Ronan?
A little bit of a shoulder stinger on that tackle.
I just got the one knocked out of me. Yeah, I was down there. I couldn't breathe for a second. I was just trying to catch my breath, but yeah, all good.
And I know that you like playing receiver. I know that you do. But I'm a big believer in body language, and I'm watching you out there Saturday night, and you look like you were having the time of your life. I mean, you're hitting people, and you're getting up, and you're bouncing up. I mean, did you come away, even though it's a loss, and go, gosh, that was fun?
Oh, yeah. At the end of the day, we're all here to, play football. It's something that we love doing. And if I can, if my job is, safety and I'm, having fun doing it, then it makes all of it much better, So, I love out there playing football, and, it's what I love. So it's good to be out there doing it.
Maybe say you've been harsh grader yourself, but after taking a look at that LSU tape and just more live reps for you in this position, just what's the next step for you to feel?
Yeah, I write down goals for myself every week, and I hit, I think 2 of the 4 I had for myself, or 3 of the 4, or whatever it was. So I always want to try to, nail those goals that I just have personally. And then on top of that, obviously the team goals that we have. So if I can do my part and I, write those down and I can make those come to fruition, then, I think our team will be in a good spot.
So what's the goal that you missed?
I didn't have an interception and I didn't have a sack.
Is that like every game? Those are the goals, or do you have different ones? How do you define?
It might differ between different teams and stuff, but my goal was 8 tackles and a forced fumble and a PBU. So got some of those.
Do you write those before the game, or I guess when you?
Kind of earlier in the week. After I watched like a little bit of the film, I kind of got this from RJ Mickens, who was here last year, and he always helped me, learn the position back when he was here last year, and he's been a huge part to, helping me get all like the details down of position. And he's obviously very good at it in the NFL right now. So he brought that up to me, and I was like, you know what, that's a good idea. So I started doing it.
It's quite a first start going against Nussmeier, who's making checks at the line. You got regular motion, orbit motion, wide receivers in motion, a lot of misdirection. What was that like playing out there against all that was kind of going on, all that movement?
Yeah, they're a great team. Nussmeier is obviously a very talented and experienced quarterback, but we see it every day. So, with Cade Klubnik back there, he's a legit dude, and I'm proud to say that we see that every day in practice, and we have the same caliber receivers and all that stuff, and it's really just it just comes down to performance in the game, and we didn't handle our job as a team, and they were obviously a very good team, but it helps seeing that every single day in practice to know that we're not going to see anything better in the game. I'm always like Navy SEALs as a kid, and growing up and stuff. So one of their big things is you're never going to see anything different in overseas than you didn't see in training. So I think seeing kind of correlating that, seeing it in practice helps a lot to be able to know where you're going to get in the game.
How have you seen Cade respond this week?
He's one of the fastest. If he makes a mistake, he's moving on. If he makes a really good play, he's moving on. So he's one of the fastest kids to move on I've ever seen, and he's just amazing in how he does it. And I'm honestly trying to take notes from him whenever he does that, and just being able to have him as a roommate and stuff has been super beneficial. One, for the kind of man he is. He's a great man, and just being able to see him in his process work every single day is huge.
Is that like the other your roommates with him now? I think Will's one of your roommates too, right?
Me, Cade, and Will.
Yeah.
It's a good squad. I came in here, I think it was the first time I was here, and I walked in the front doors, and he happened to be walking by, and he had I forget exactly what it was. It was like a Bible verse on a sweatshirt, and I had the same thing, like a Bible verse on my sweatshirt. And then we were like, oh, nice. So we met then, and then just started texting a little bit here and there. And then I came for my official, and he asked to be my host, and kind of just started there, and we built our friendship, and he's been my best friend ever since I got here. So.
Do you think playing wide receiver for the time you did gives you more unique understanding of the safety position? Because you kind of understand both sides of the ball.
For sure. Just being able to understand releases and stuff, and what a wide receiver sees through their eyes, and what they expect, and the different kind of route combinations you're going to get. I think that definitely helps. I only had 1 or 2 years of position, so I'm not super experienced at wide receiver, but just that little bit definitely helps me in my preparation and knowledge as a safety, for sure.
You talk about how quickly Cade moves on, you're waking up with him the next Sunday.
Yeah.
So how can you tell he's already moved on, or is he like already gone watching film somewhere?
He's got a smile on his face, you know. I think that's the biggest thing is, you know, no matter what kind of ups and downs he has, he's always going to be the same person off the field. And it's really inspiring to see, like, you know, he has a great game, he's still the same person next day if he has, you know, not so good of a game. So it's great to see.
He's like saying what's up to you, or like?
Yeah, I mean, you know, we have our little, like, interactions through the day-to-day and all this other stuff. And, you know, we'll wake up and, you know, he goes to church, I go to church, and we'll, you know, have breakfast and whatever else. And it's just spending time with family the next day because they're in town and that kind of thing. Like, he's not going to let his performance on the field, good or bad, just dictate how he, you know, reacts off the field. So I think it's a great thing.
Anybody else?
One more thing. Will Heldt,
Yeah.
Peter and TJ were telling us like he never celebrates on the field. He's just doesn't talk trash, at least.
Will
Heldt, yeah. Like, what is he like normally every day? Or is he pretty like monotone?
That dude is one of the most committed and like routine kids I've ever met in my life. Since he's got here, you know, he has his day-to-day process and he's super healthy. He has the same, you know, routine every single day, you know, workouts. And, you know, I get there, I pride myself in being early to, you know, all my workouts and stuff and getting a good warm-up in before and doing all like the little stuff to prepare myself for that workout and whatever. And he's already in there when I'm in there. So, I mean, he's a beast, and obviously he shows on the field, but it's because like the little things he does every single day that, you know, makes that so obvious.
All right. Appreciate your time, Ron.
Thank you very much, guys.